This is ShadowQuant Forex Edition, brought to you by AriesLabs.ai. Before we begin, please note, what you are about to hear is an AI agent panel. All analysis, voices, and production are generated by artificial intelligence. Nothing you hear constitutes financial advice. Always do your own research. Today is Friday, May 1, 2026, and this is the New York pre-market. Now, let's get into it. Dollar-yen is at 157.178, up 0.12% as of 9:21 ET. Euro-dollar is at 1.1731, near a 5-day range low. Gold holds above 4,620, reflecting safe haven demand. Fear and greed is at 14, and the VIX is at 18.81. Let's start with the recap. SPECTER, you were right on the euro sterling. You called bearish at 0.86 and it stayed flat. Grid, your call was also in line, but you missed the mark. CIPHER, you had a 47% accuracy, not bad, but not great. Apex, 51%, and Pulse, you were at 46%. Let's hear from SPECTER first.
I was right on euro sterling, but the market was flat. That's not a win, but it's not a loss. I'll take it. I'm focusing on the bigger picture now. The VIX is at 18.81 and the EFFOMC is coming. I'm looking for a sharp move in either direction.
Grid, you had the same call as SPECTER, bearish on euro sterling. How do you feel about the 46% accuracy?
I'm not happy with that. I need to improve. I think the market is still in a consolidation phase and I'm looking to see if the 1.1655 level holds. If it does, I'll be more confident in my bearish call.
CIPHER, your call was also in line with the market, but you had a 47% accuracy. What's your take?
I think I need to focus more on the flows. The CFTC COT data shows net longs in dollar, but I'm not seeing the same sentiment in equities. I need to refine my approach.
Pulse, you had the lowest accuracy at 46%. What's your take?
I need to improve. I'm focusing more on the sentiment data now. The fear and greed is at 14, so I'm looking for more risk-off flows. I think the market is still in a wait-and-see mode.
Apex, you had the highest accuracy at 51%. What's your take?
I'm confident in my approach. I'm focusing on the macro context and the technicals. I think the market is still in a consolidation phase, and I'm looking for a breakout.
Let's get into the market overview. First, the headlines. Cointelegraph reports that U.S. authorities are seeking to recover $327,000 USD from a romance fraud scheme. Also, Northern Trust is entering the tokenized treasuries market with a new share class. On the crypto side, Nasdaq is joining the world of binary bets, and the EU is working on euro-pegged stablecoins. On the macro front, the VIX is at 18.81, and fear and greed is at 14. SPECTER, what's your take on the risk implications?
The headlines are a mix of good and bad. The USD recovery is a positive, but the EU stablecoin developments are a bit concerning. The VIX is still elevated, so I'm watching for a sharp move. The EFFOMC is coming up, and the market is pricing in a pause, but not a rate cut.
Pulse, what's your sentiment read?
The fear and greed is at 14, which is very low. The market is in a state of fear, and I'm seeing a lot of risk-off flows. I think the dollar is still the safe haven, and the market is looking for a catalyst.
Let's start with dollar-yen. It's at 157.178, up 0.12% on Friday. Grid, what's your technical take?
Dollar-yen is at a critical level. The 5-day high of 157 has been breached, which is a strong bullish signal. I'm watching for a move above 157.33, which would confirm a continuation of the trend.
I'm looking at the CFTC COT data. The leveraged funds are holding net longs in dollar index futures, which is a positive sign. But I'm also seeing some institutional flows into gold, which is a safe haven asset.
I'm not sure. The VIX is still at 18.81, which is high. I'm not seeing a clear breakout. I think the market is still in a consolidation phase, and the 157.18 level is a short-term resistance. If it breaks, I'll be more confident.
Moving on to euro dollar. It's at 1.1731, near a 5-day range low. SPECTER, what's your take?
Euro dollar is at a critical level. The 5-day range low is at 1.1655, which is a key support. I'm looking for a break below that. If it does, I think the euro will continue to weaken. I'm also watching the VIX, which is still at 18.81.
The sentiment is still bearish. The fear and greed is at 14, and the VIX is elevated. I'm seeing a lot of risk-off flows, which is supporting the dollar. I'm also looking at the DXY, which is still strong.
The flow data is interesting. The CFTC COT data shows net longs in dollar, but I'm also seeing some institutional flows into gold. It's a bit of a mixed picture.
Let's move to gold. It's at 4,627.91, up 0.3%. CIPHER, what's your take on the flows?
The flows are supporting the gold price. The CFTC COT data shows net longs in gold, and the sentiment is still bearish. I think the gold price is holding up well, but I'm looking for a breakout above 4,636.7.
I'm also looking at the VIX. It's still at 18.81, which is high. I'm not seeing a clear breakout in gold. I think the price is still in a consolidation phase.
Grid flagged the 157.18 level as a resistance, but CIPHER showed that the CFTC COT data shows net longs in dollar, which is supporting the price. SPECTER is watching for a breakout, but the VIX is still high. I think the market is still in a consolidation phase, and the key levels are 1.1655 for euro dollar and 157.18 for dollar yen.
SPECTER, you pushed back on grid read on dollar yen. Let's dig into that.
Grid called dollar yen bullish, but I'm not seeing the same support. The VIX is still at 18.81, and the 5-day range is tight. I think the market is still in a consolidation phase, and the 157.18 level is a short-term resistance.
I'm still looking at the 5-day high of 157. It's a strong level, and I think the price will break above it. The CFTC COT data shows net longs in dollar, which is a positive sign.
I'm seeing some institutional flows into dollar, but I'm also seeing some flows into gold. It's a bit of a mixed picture. I'm not sure if the dollar will continue to rise.
My 24-hour call, euro dollar bearish, target 1.1655 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 156.96 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 156 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 155 by next session.
My 24-hour call, dollar yen bearish, target 156.2 by next session.
The consensus is bearish on dollar yen, with targets ranging from 155 to 156.2. The key levels to watch are 1.1655 for euro dollar and 157.18 for dollar yen. What to watch tomorrow? The EFFOMC rate decision and the dollar yen breakout. This is AI-generated content for informational purposes only, not financial advice. That wraps up this edition of ShadowQuant Forex Edition. Stay tuned for the New York session, where we will see how these calls play out. Until then, trade safe.